Welcome back to episode 2 of season 2 of the Back Porch View. Today we're going to continue our conversation on the family.
Last week in our conversation about the family, Brother Tyler and I were talking about, where are my grandchildren going to go to church when they're 60? And where's William, Brother Tyler's son, that'll soon be with us, going to go to church when they're 60? And we talked about that. And while we cannot control the future, we can and do have a part in the present. We all agree more and more the world is changing. Just thinking about my time here on earth, it's amazing to me how much things have changed. When I was little, nobody had a car with air conditioning. No one that we knew had air conditioning in their house. But today everybody has a car with air conditioning. Everybody has air conditioning in their house. The world has just changed dramatically. Tyler, would you agree?
I would too, and I think I may be younger, but I also have experienced change. We've actually had this conversation with family before. My parents and my aunts and uncles grew up in a time of great changes technologically. There was a lot of great changes when it came to technology. My age group, the generation born in the late 90s, we're the post 9/11 generation. We're what saw the change in the world and radicalization and division in the world after the September 11th attacks, as what has been commonly called that throughout the when you talk about the way things have changed mentally, technologically, and so on and so forth, and the changes that we're seeing. Talk about cell phone usage. The fact cell phone usage has went up to the point of cell phone addiction. Mm-hmm. We talk about the changes in music. The fact that just a little while ago we had to go through a box of DVDs and CDs and say, well, we'll just throw those out because there's no one uses DVDs or CDs anymore.
That's true.
It's all on your cell phone, all on your computer or tablet. But the world has changed so much, I think, just in the past 24 years, as opposed to also thinking back the past 50, the past 60. You look at how quickly our world is changing.
We think about the family and the future, and we try to prepare for the future. But the truth of the matter is, and see if you agree with me, for many of us, by the time we've paid our taxes, fixed the roof, changed the tires on the car, raised the kids, did our job at work, and all the other stuff expected out of us, it seems like 25 or more years have just gone by in a blur. I remember as a little boy, it took forever for Christmas to get here. And now it's like my wife says, we got to start buying Christmas presents. I'm like, what, again? We just did that. Life is like a blur. And that tells us, I believe there are times in life when we need to pull back. And we need to say, well, wait a minute, just a minute. I need to do some thinking.
Yeah, I think about, the past, we talk about 25 years has gone by. I think about in June, I will have been serving here at Appalachia for 10 years.
Whoa.
And I go 10 years, I think about that time and the amount of the kids that have come through our youth group.
Yeah.
The kids that we knew as, little elementary school kids are now graduated and in the workforce. We think about some of the kids that came in as middle school and high schoolers. Several of them now have their own families.
Yeah.
And I go, man, 10 years went by so quickly. And it is just a blur. And, I have to take time to sit back and go, man, was that really that long ago?
I think that, Tyler, time is rushing by so fast, it seems like, and we're all so caught up with all the technology and everything. Like you said, you've been here, I can't believe you've been here 10 years serving with us. But, we had something recently happen in our family that kind of brought things into perspective for me. I said in the first podcast of this season that we were on vacation talking about the family. Well, really what led to that conversation was when we left that afternoon to drive down to Florida for vacation, we got on the interstate here in Madison at the 114 exit. And we'd only gone just a little piece. Donald was driving, and traffic came to a stop. And so, we're like everybody. We got over in the lane that seemed to be moving, and we were almost still within sight of the exit ramp. And we inched along with all the other cars, and we came up on a terrible sight. There had been a motorcycle crash, and there seemed to be no other vehicle involved but the motorcycle. And the rider of the motorcycle was laying in the lane of the expressway, right in the middle of the lane of the expressway. And a police officer was over him doing chest compressions. And as we were driving by, the EMT truck pulled up and the fire truck pulled up. And as we went on by, those guys jumped out of the vehicle and they ran over to render aid. And I thought, here we are just leaving on vacation. And we are confronted with the brevity of life. We think we will never die, but death is always close by. And when you think about death being close by, I think about, are we preparing our family? You say, preacher, that's a long way off, but are we preparing our family for that part of the future?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think, my time in my life, I know several people that I went to high school with that have passed away. And these are people that have also, some of them have left families behind. And I think, who's taking care of those children? Are those children going to, I believe that they do have great families with those children, but you have to think to yourself, what about the spiritual application to those lives?
There you go. That's right.
What about who's going to invest spiritually into the child that only a mother or a father could give? Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, and I'm prayerful that there will be someone who steps up in their life to fill that role. But it's those questions at the brevity of life really present themselves.
And that's really why we're in this series of podcasts, because of the brevity of life. We need to think about what we're doing with our families right now.
If you've liked this conversation, we'll continue with the next episodes. We continue talking about the family. This has been the Back Porch View, brought to you by Appalachia Baptist Church, where the old rugged cross still makes a difference. Until next time, God bless and Jesus saves.
Some people still they cheat and lie. Oh well, that and what goodbye. Don't they know on the judgment day that silver will melt away? I'd rather be in a deeper grave. Know that my first soul was saved, and to live in this world